folks? Welcome back. Today I just want to have a candid conversation about everything happening in this Pokemon space. So no wild crazy antics, no high energy Alex, nothing to pump, nothing to dump, I have nothing to sell you. I just want to talk, right? Talk about what's happening in this whole investing side of things. Talk about what's happening in this whole business side of things. Talk about the content creation, the content viewer side. Because I think all too often, too much of us get caught up in this rat race, this everyday mentality. And it forces us to not enjoy it as much, get burnt out, make poor decisions, make rash decisions. And it just leads down kind of a deep, dark road that you don't really want to talk about and you don't really want to admit to yourself, but all of us go through it from time to time. And so before we jump into that, this video isn't sponsored by anyone. It's not paid for by Dan, but I told Dan I would shout out his new consignment service he has on PWCC, which is now Fanatics, because it's pretty cool. Most of the consignment services out there, they only take slabs, right? PWCC Fanatics is pretty cool because you can send Dan anything, slabs, singles, boxes, cases, uncut sheets, whatever Fanatics will accept, Dan will accept under consignment. So it's pretty cool. Here's his rates. Anything under $100, it's 85% is what you get, plus you'll get charged a $5 shipping fee. However, anything over $100, he's only charging you 10%. You get 90% of the sale price. Anything over $500, which is most every case, you're getting 93%, only paying 7% of the sale price. So therefore, any of you out there who has been worried about getting out of your Pokemon investments when you do want to sell and you haven't sold before, you've been hearing a lot of horror stories about this and that, you can just send all that stuff to Dan now, pay between 7 and 10% on most of it, and he'll take care of all the work for you. And so if that sounds like something that you may need, I'll leave the link to Dan's contact info in the description in the comment section below if that sounds like something you want to try out. All right, moving on. I want to let's start out with the investors, right? So I can definitely speak for the investors because I'm one of them. And I think the biggest issue I see with investing right now is, guys, investing's boring. Plain and clear. But investors in this space, they are very active, right? You're constantly viewing content. You're constantly in Discords, on Instagram, on YouTube, and you're constantly wanting to kind of be in the action, in the mix, right? And the sad truth is, when you're investing, there's not something going on every day, or every week, or every month. Investing is a long-term thing. It's boring, and there's really not a lot to do with investing on a day-to-day basis. Now, a lot of people see this as a huge positive because they can put their money to work and not have to look at it, and it grows over time, and they can check on it every quarter or half a year every year, and as long as it's doing what they planned on, or it's following their time frame, they're happy, and they kind of get to wipe their hands clean and move on about their lives. However, I notice in this community, it's a lot different from people who invest in their 401ks or invest in real estate or things like that, is we're so hyper-focused every day on the little movement of the chart from this day to that day, or this week to that week. Went down, 2%, it went up 5%, and, constantly worried about the deals. Oh my gosh, the boxes dropped $10. Should I buy more? It went up $10. Should I sell? And I think, honestly, the biggest benefit for a lot of investors would be to step away from time to time. I know, it's sacrilegious. I know, a content creator saying to step away from the space and content creation and looking at things. I know, it's crazy, but hear me out. I think it would probably help a lot of people because I think people tend to overthink things and overanalyze when it comes to investing in this space, and they make rash decisions, and a lot of times those are poor decisions because they made them quickly based on something they heard or news or rumors or what a lot of other people are saying or what a lot of other people are doing, when a lot of the time the best thing to do with investing is nothing. That's the plain truth. Like, a lot of times with investing, the right decision is to do nothing. It's to just hold. Not worry if it's up, not worry if it's down, hold longer. Obviously, you can always pick out, times here and there where you should have sold or you should have bought more. But most of the time, if you're happy with your entry point, you're happy with your position, you have that mindset of when you want to hold until or what percentage gain you're looking for, whatever it may be, usually the right decision is to not get emotional and make a rash decision and hold. And so That's one of the challenges I would give to all the investors out there, is try to become more patient and not so wrapped up in the day-to-day rat race of content and business and investing. All right, next up, the business side of things. Guys, running a business, any business, it gets monotonous. It can take over your life where you're spending so many hours every single day having to, constantly fill orders. You're buying, you're selling, you're buying, you're selling. You're worried about what new products are coming out so you can get those. You're trying to find deals and other things to get those in stock so you can get more customers. You have to advertise to get more customers coming in. And you just have so much going on from time to time. It becomes all consuming. And if you never step away, you never take any breaks, it can lead to burnout. And it can lead to having a business that you don't enjoy anymore. And if you're doing this hobby, it has to at least be somewhat for enjoyment, right? Because let's be honest, maybe there's some people out there that are making really big money. Most of the people in this industry, you can literally make more money going and getting a good job, right? And so the main reason to do this full time is because it's something you enjoy. It's something you want to get up and do every day. And if you make that into something where it becomes something you dread doing because it encompasses your entire life and every hour of every day, then you've lost it, right? No matter if you're making more money or not, you've lost the whole purpose of why you're doing this, why you've turned your hobby into a business. It's because it's something you actually want to do each day and also produces an income. So that's kind of the challenge for everyone running a business or full-time in this hobby. Make sure you're doing it enough to make a living, grow, hit your goals, but also stepping away and taking time away and doing other things enough to where you still enjoy it and you still, thirst to get up and do certain things and it still excites you. And it's not just like, this thing you have to get up and do every day like your old 9-to-5 was, right? Speaking from content creation, now, I'm not going to put words in any other content creator's mouth. However, anyone who does create content and usually lurk on my channel and you never comment or anything, I would ask you, would you please comment on this video and let me know if I'm at least somewhat right about this? Because I'm just going to give my perspective, but let me know your perspective. This is kind of how you feel from time to time. So, us content creators, we go through a lot of ebbs and flows just like the market does, right? So, when YouTube decides that they're going to help us out and push us in the algorithm a little bit and notify more of our subscribers of our videos and we start seeing more views, or when we're on the come up and we're a newer channel and we start getting views for the first time, the first thing you want to do as a content creator is start making more content, right? Because now you finally have people that are starting to watch your videos, and so it makes it, it's exciting, and it makes it make more sense, and maybe you're starting to get ad revenue finally, and the more videos you make and the more views you get, the more ad revenue you get, and it kind of, it's really fulfilling. And so you'll start pumping out videos and you have a lot to say, right? Because normally, maybe before you were a content creator, you were just, in the chats or in online, forums or discords or comment sections, because I was one of those people. And so, when you finally have a platform of your own where people are actually listening to you and they're not just like, giving you a thumbs up or a re-comment in one of the sections, it feels good. And so you have a lot to say, you're making a lot of content, everything is great. But what happens is, tell me if I'm right, there comes times where you really don't have a lot to talk about. And you almost get content writer's block. And maybe there's nothing really going on in the hobby, right? No new sets are coming out. There's not a lot happening. Not much is moving up. Not much is moving down. And there's just not a lot to talk about. There's no drama, whatever it may be. There's just not a lot going on. And you're sitting there like, well, it's Thursday. I got to put out my Thursday video. I gotta make sure I get my video every day or my 3 videos a week or whatever your schedule is. And so you just start throwing things out because, it's what you have to do. It's what you're supposed to do. You got a channel, you got a schedule, I gotta stick to it. And it leads to a few things. It leads to obviously not your best content. Even if you get views on it because you have, followers that you support you, they probably know it's not your best content. Maybe you make mistakes like putting light play charts instead of near mint. Who would do that, right? You start making mistakes on, some of your data or some of the things you're saying, and it just won't come out with the same passion that you had for the hobby before. And I'm not saying it's going to hurt or help your channel or anything like that, but it can definitely lead to burnout, creator burnout. It leads to less passion, less energy in the content. It leads to kind of a worse feeling for you and the viewer at the same time, right? And if you do that enough times, usually you will start to see decreased views, decreased viewers, maybe less subscriber growth, things like that. Whereas maybe if you just took down the amount of videos you made a week and actually had passion and reason for each video and an actual topic that you felt like you needed to get out on each video, maybe that would be better. And so let me know, guys, does that sound like something you guys go through? It's something I go through, I know that. But even for the viewers, guys, so for all the viewers out there, right? I understand what it's like to get wrapped up in the content, machine, right? Is you feel like you have to keep up with all of your favorite creators' content every video they make. I know, I'm talking against myself here. You don't. You don't have to, to be the best supporter, watch every single video, every single time from every one of your favorite creators, no matter if you like it or not, if it pertains to you or not, you don't have to. And I think that alone really burns people out. When they, get on every day and they get in their Discord groups and you gotta, catch up on every Discord conversation. They gotta catch up on Instagram, catch up on other YouTube videos. They gotta catch up on everything, and it gets so exhausting. It becomes too much to keep up with, to where eventually you kind of crack, and those are the people that say, I gotta take a break, or I gotta step away from the hobby for a little bit, or those are the people that sometimes I'm gonna sell off everything. I'm selling off my whole collection. I don't feel the same about the hobby. It's because you've built this world where it became more of a chore and less of a hobby, less of something you want to do, right? And you can do this with anything in life. I mean, even people who play freaking video games for a living, video game streamers, go through the same thing, because once you pack your schedule too full and you're doing something for too many hours a day, everything can become a chore and feel like a job and not feel fun anymore. And I'm not saying that everything in life has to be fun, but especially for viewers, it should be entertaining and fun and educating, and it shouldn't be something you feel like you have to do. For businesses, I get it, right? You have to make a living, but you can also find a middle ground where you're also able to kind of still enjoy your life, enjoy the hobby, enjoy the business, and not be, tied to it like a ball and chain, where you feel like, you're slave labor working in a factory, even though you're choosing to be there, but you feel like you're a slave to it because, the business never stops, right? Money never sleeps. And so, and the same thing goes with content creators, same thing goes with investors, right? You constantly hear about all these new things, keeping up with all the news, right? Oh, now the Sam's product's released, I gotta find this Sam's product. Costco released a new product, gotta find this Costco product. Did you see what Safari Zone did? I gotta get on, I gotta log on and buy that. Did you see this deal, this TikTok drop, this TikTok coupon? We gotta buy. And then when things go up, it's the same thing. Oh, you see this rose up, you better sell before it crashes. You gotta move out of that investment, you gotta move your money here, move your money there. Guys, it gets so exhausting. And what's funny is most of the time the answer is to just do nothing. Honestly, I think people who got into this hobby 5 years ago and haven't even looked at one of the things they bought and just came back today and is like, hey, I haven't even looked at all my stuff I have in my basement from back in XY and Sun and Moon. I wonder how I'm doing. They're doing pretty freaking good. And guess what? I bet the same thing could be said right now. Someone quit the hobby right now and they had a bunch of Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet stuff, and they didn't look at a single chart, a single piece of content, a single piece of their items for the next 5 years. Guess what? They're probably going to come out better than most all of the Pokemon investors out there, because everyone's so worried about every little downtick and uptick that they're constantly buying and selling and taking these small gains, eating all kinds of fees and shipping, or taking less for their items because they feel like they have to get out of it and they don't want to get caught with it because everything's going to zero all the time. And I think we all just need to step back from time to time, right? Just take a day off here and there, right? Or take a few hours off of all the content you would watch, or all the time you would spend in your business, or you would spend looking at your investments and reading all the charts and trying to find all the deals out there. I honestly think it'll do better for you all around. For your mental state, enjoyment of the hobby, you'll probably make more money, as crazy as that sounds, but having your mind free and being able to brainstorm new ideas, it gives you a better perspective on, trying kind of almost seeing the future, right? Predicting the moves that'll happen, because you're able to step out of that day-to-day grind, and you're not wrapped up in what's happening today, tomorrow, next week, and next month. And so that's all I got today, guys. Try to give yourself some time away, some perspective, and make sure you're enjoying things, right? Make sure you're still enjoying whatever you're doing. The investing side, the business side, the content creation side, the content viewer side. Make sure you're still enjoying watching content and it's not something you feel like you have to. Like, I have to make sure I watch everybody because if I don't, I could miss something. And if I miss something, that don't fall into that trap, guys, right? Content, Pokemon, this is all here for us. We're not here for it, okay? And so, I don't know. I hope the talk helped. Let me know in the comments if it did. Let me know if you've been feeling the same way sometimes. And be back here in a new one soon. I'm out.